up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Moving with Skinny. We're at Westville to visit an old friend, Rogan Heyns. So come with me, let's find out what he has to say. Let's move! Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Moving with Skinny. We finally here in Westville with Rogan Heyns, the best of the best. Welcome.
Thanks, it's nice to be on your show.
Nice seeing you after so many years. So let's just get straight into it. Just give us an intro, like who is Rogan, what do you do, where are you based?
So I'm a biokineticist. I studied at Stellenbosch, UKZN, and then I did my honours in Zululand, University of Zululand. No one will believe that. That's where you're from. From there I went to the Sharks, did my internship, and then I worked at the Sharks for 4 years. I saw private patients on a regular basis, and then I was in charge of the junior contracted players for their rehabilitation, and then getting them into the strength and conditioning phase before return to play. And now I'm in Westville Boys High School in the Westville Village Market, and I am working from both practices, and that's about it. Seeing private patients and helping the schoolboys, I suppose.
If I may ask, why rugby? Why not soccer, or it doesn't matter to you?
At the moment it doesn't matter to me. I'm quite passionate about all sports. Rugby was an opportunity. We had to do an internship after our honours year. And we applied in different spaces. I applied in Cape Town as well, but the Sharks were the first guys to give me a yes. So, and I love rugby, and so the opportunity was there, so I grabbed it, and then that led to the next thing where I got to now work with athletes like you, and that's like always been a dream. A dream was to play Sharks, so we never got that far.
Okay.
Working with them was probably the next best thing.
Okay, and the next question is, what comes to mind when one mentions the word speed in your profession as a bio?
So the scientific thing is distance covered divided by the time taken to do it. So, but we think sporting wise, it's broken down into a few different things, like your top end speed. So for the really fast athletes, top speed, or your 100-meter athletes, they want to get top speed. Accelerations are getting to top speed as fast as possible. For your marathon runners or your long distance runners, we look at trying to get a consistent speed for a long period of time, so getting to an optimal zone where you can maintain a constant speed and get to the end point as quickly as you can without burning out. And then also more of your agility sports like rugby, tennis, those kind of things, is moving with speed, so trying to get to a ball or getting in between players and swerving and those kind of things to beat a player. So multifaceted, but at the end of the day trying to go as quickly as you can to a point.
Okay. And then as a bio, what is your favorite speed-related exercise?
I like lots of the gym-based movements. I probably think the triple extension drills against the wall, where you're standing against the wall up on your toes and doing quick feet, those kind of things. I like that one because I can get it into the rehab program early. So getting it into more of a core-based drill where you're just doing a long hold in that triple extension, focusing on core activation, chest up, posture, and then as the strength is getting improved and the oaks are starting to get stability and control and happy, starting to move the quick change of feet or getting those little fast tap feet movements going, which is cool because you can do it a lot earlier, a lot quicker.
Okay. You also mentioned rehab, which is like after one has been injured, you know. So I want to know, what advice would you give to us athletes in avoiding injuries?
Well, everyone's going to tell you to train and to do exercises. So, but I think that is like, for me, that's a given. If you're trying to be the top of your game, if you aren't doing all that already, you're behind the next zone because you're really on top of everything. For me, I think the biggest injury prevention thing is training as close to what you're going to have in match day. So you've got to be able to. There's no point in you on match day or running the 100-meter race wanting to go at 95% of your max or 100% of your max, when at training you've only been working at 75%, 80%. So when you get to match day, your body's not going to be used to that. It's not going to know, hey, this is where I've been before, and then you've got the risk of breaking down or tearing your hamstring. So trying to get conditioned in those zones that match day is going to produce, and and then your risk for injury drops down. So like it's your chronic load and your acute load. So chronic load needs to be high so that you can tolerate the forces or the speed and the work you're doing on a match day.
Okay. Should someone face an injury, what steps should they follow? Like what tips basically would you?
So in the ideal world, athlete world, like you were, injury happens, you enter the sports doc's office, he's then going, you need to go for a scan, or you have to head to the physio will then send you into the bio, and they often work in conjunction with each other. Bio will then clear you, go back to your conditioning coach, and then you back onto the field. So if you've got access to all of that, I'd say that's the best route to go. In real life, where we start to find all these high performing medical staff, I'd say first option is you've hurt yourself or you've injured yourself, find a physio who's passionate about sport or a sports physio, because they are first-line practitioners. They can diagnose really well, they can refer for scans, they can send you to the specialist doctor if they need, and then again they will work in conjunction with your bio as you're starting to improve your healing and your return to play, and then your biokineticist will take you those final steps to your conditioning coach and then back into your team play. So I think diagnosis is the best thing. Like if you got the wrong diagnosis, your injury's never going to fix some time. If you got the right diagnosis first up, everything falls into place. And you can also get given time frames in. So you as an athlete know, okay, I've got 4 weeks to go, or I've got 6 weeks to go, as opposed to just having someone treat you, going, not giving you a time frame, because athletes get frustrated because they don't have they like to know, I'll be back on the field in 6 weeks, and then you can plot your rehab like that. So that's probably your best thing. Diagnosis, first line practitioner, bio, conditioning coach, back to play.
Okay, let's say, okay, now the injury does happen, and obviously, we always challenge differently. I can only afford so much to pay you as a bio, I can only afford so much to pay as a physio.
Yeah.
Like how can one go about it, because already with the bio on its own,
it's expensive.
Yeah, so now you want to miss the bio and just jump to the physio.
I think the best thing is also to be upfront with your physio and your bio. Okay, so say you've got, because we have to help people, so we'll always do our best to get you to where you need to be. And if we're upfront, then we know, okay, well, you can only do this for so long. And then the physio will start introducing exercises a lot earlier, or they will do more tissue work, and instead of doing tissue work and then slow exercise work, they'll work in conjunction with the bio and go, okay, tissue work, healing work, bio, you start with the core stuff I need to do, and give them a 4-week program or a 3-week program, and then you can check in regularly and just manage it like that. So we can spread the rehab out and give you more per session and say, okay, you need to work for 2 weeks instead of once a week. Or if you're really struggling, I'll see you for a favor on this one, but you need to do your homework. The biggest thing is to be consistent with what they give you. Because if we give you homework and you don't do it, it's inevitably you're going to slow your healing and your cost is going to be bigger at the end of the day. So it might feel like it's a bit more expensive to start, but if you get good help early on, like I said, right diagnosis, the plotting of your healing can be more clear, and then we can go, okay, you're struggling for financial side of things, let's do this. That'll help everyone, because at the end of the day, we don't want to not have you get better. So.
Okay, and then just adding on to that, I remember at the shops, it never made sense. Normally someone would go to the bio, finish with the bio, physio, finish with the physio, or something around, then go back to the field. But somehow we used to mix it at the shops. So you'd have a bio session and then later on go physio. How does that happen?
So when we were studying, we get told these clear-cut pathways of you've got X to X number of weeks with the physio till you're pain-free, and then you go to the bio and you do this time, and then you start into the next block. But when you're in a performance setting and you're trying to get the best out of your sessions, working in conjunction with your team is the best thing. So the physio will be working on your sprained ankle, but your sprained ankle might be caused by weak glutes or instability at your hips. So if the physio is fixing your ankle and then sends you into your bio session who starts working on your hips and your core, you're doing twice the work and you're getting that strong. So it's not a case of finishing your 6 weeks with physio and then only starting your rehab with your bio for your core, which can be done 4 weeks earlier. So as soon as your ankle's ready to go, you stable, you strong, we can start you with the running stuff, not fix that, fix this, fix that, now start running. So we try and mesh it together, teamwork, so that everything revolves a lot quicker, and then you as an athlete, when we say you're on the field in 8 weeks, you're on the field in 8 weeks, not trying to catch up time somewhere else.
Okay. Like I actually had a talk with a friend and they had been injured, and they asked me what should I do. I was like, before you go see someone, first ice. And then normally you guys told us that you should ice for 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off. And when you mentioned that to someone, they're like, no, it's too cold, like it's too much. But the fact that it does help.
Yeah, so definitely it's got a major pain relief effect, icing. The research is changing all the time with how long you should ice, what temperature you should ice. And for different groups of injuries, the protocols are slightly different. So like with your ankle injuries, now your ligaments, they're saying don't put ice straight away. Give it a bit of time for the inflammation phase to kick in and then start icing. With a hamstring tear where there's a lot more blood vessels, you want to whack ice quickly to prevent as much bleeding as possible. And so the protocols are all changing. It used to just be whack ice on everything, compress, elevate, and do all that protocol. Now everything's slightly different, so it's always evolving. So that's what we've got to, we're always reading and trying to stay current with what's going on with the research side of things, to stay on top so that folks can do it. But yeah, 20 minutes is long and cold. That's why we always say wrap it in a towel first so that it's not directly on your skin, because you don't want to get burned. I'm sure you probably burned yourself once or twice. So it's good. Scenarios are different when you need to use it more, but from an analgesic and a pain relief thing, if you've got no painkillers, ice pack on something sore is good. 20 minutes is good, it feels cold.
Yeah, it is cold. And then the last question. With speed comes disadvantages. So as an athlete who likes speed and agility, should I train more or warm up more compared to an average athlete? And like you always giving me advice on my live videos on CrossFit. So yeah, like what's your take on that? Like, does warming up more help, or does training more help compared to a normal?
I think you've got to train. So you will train more for speed, whereas your prop or your slower athlete or your more powerful position athlete is going to train more for moving objects around. So yes, you're going to be strong in moving objects around, but you need to spend more time. Like I said, the previous thing was you want to be able to be most efficient, most effective at top speed. If you're not training your top speed, you aren't going to get better at your top speed, and you're not going to be able to produce it maximally when you need to. Okay. Same as a prop working on his 100 meter speed or his 40 meter sprint consistently to be the fastest prop in the country, but neglecting his pushing power is not going to really carry over into his position. So I think everyone should warm up adequately. Everyone should do adequate strength and stability and core strengthening to be efficient. And everyone should then spend time on their specifics. So really, you, sprinter, speed worker, hamstring strength, eccentric hamstring control, your Nordic drops, those kind of things, smashing your hamstrings to tolerate acceleration, de-acceleration forces is crucial, because we know those are what you guys, you speed athletes, get injured with, is your hamstrings tear when you either take off quickly or you're hitting the anchors quickly and you tear it. So everyone needs to train hard. Like I said, if you're not doing the basics of training, your opponent is already ahead of you, because he's doing those basics. It's then tailoring your specifics to be as best as you can to get the most out of it.
Okay, before we finish off, just last one that I just
popped into your head.
Is there such thing as overtraining?
Yeah, it's hard to overtrain though. So there are, you do get athletes that are spending too much time, not enough breaks, and you start to get more stressed and you get less out of your training sessions. Your recovery's not as good, your sleeping patterns go out of whack and you don't sleep well, and it all starts to affect your performance at the end of the day. So you can get to a state of overtraining, and they do a neurological test. I don't know if when you were there, they started the finger tap test at the Sharks every morning. So they were testing your neural fatigue as a state of overtraining. So if you were really exhausted, your finger tap test wouldn't be as good as it was as your baseline, and they would say, well, yeah, you don't need to do an on-feet conditioning block today, we're going to give you some other form of recovery or exercise so that your body can just relax. Because when your stress hormones are through the roof, you can do as much as you want, but you're not going to get the gains or the benefit of it. So it's more beneficial to have a rest day and relax, and then the next day you're feeling a bit better, go for it again. But it is hard to overtrain. If you are working really hard, you have to be consistently at it, banging at the red line all the time until a point. So if you're getting adequate rest days, you're getting adequate food, adequate sleep, you generally are okay. I haven't really seen many overtrained athletes ever, actually, but that's probably more the conditioning coaches pick that up before more than what we see more the injury side of it.
Okay. Well, that's it, guys, from Rogan. Thanks for tuning in, and please subscribe, like, share, and now over to you with your 30 seconds of fame. Whatever you want to say.
Well, thanks so much for having me on the show. Skinny is lekker. Yeah, guys, everyone must just do their best to get their goals and reach their targets and be specific for what they want. Don't worry about anyone else. You need to have your focus right and drive for what you need. Do the basics and then target the specifics that you want to adapt and improve it. And if you ever are injured or if you ever got a problem and you need some help, we are on the website. You can just give us a click or give us a phone call. I'm sure Skinny will pop the info somewhere. And we'll try help as much as we can and do the best to get you back on your feet and going as fast as possible. Thanks.